pandemic, built a team, worked closely to customers and users, and participated in many business development programs. He will be glad to share his journey to learn from the mistakes he made in order to keep a straight path. Mike, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Sabine. Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Mike, and I founded Sila. I'm going to present my screen so I can take you through the journey. Just 1 second. Okay. Okay. I think everything's working. So I want to thank Dr. Mona for letting me come here and speak with you guys so I can share my experience. I want you to know that this is not a story about someone who won and who's teaching you how to win. On the contrary, this is the story of someone who lost many, many times, failed many times, but who can probably teach you how not to lose through the mistakes that I did. So actually, I have a quote about that. It's if you don't lose enough, you might win. So take it with a grain of salt. For the next 30 minutes, I'll be speaking about myself, which is just enough for you to think that I'm narcissistic. I will use a lot of memes to spice things up a bit, and I want you guys to ask me questions at the end. So it all starts with the entrepreneurial spirit. When you start feeding it, it depends. It happens multiple times. For me, it was when I graduated from AUB in 2019. I worked very hard to get a decent job at Murex. And ever since day one, I felt miserable working on somebody else's idea. And I felt like I need to do something about it. So I quit in 2.5 weeks. And now they have a picture of me there, not on the employee of the month wall, but probably on the security office to not let me in anymore. But I had a plan. I was a teacher already. I used to teach, private teach. And I said, I want to go into education because I feel that's my calling. And also teaching gave me a bit of money. It gave me a stable income. So that's a point I need to mention, that if you want to go and pursue a non-paying idea, you need to have a stable flux of money, whatever it could be. It could be teaching. It could be daddy's money. I don't know, anything. We don't judge. So after you get a stable income, you need to find an industry that you love. And for me, it was, like I said, education. But you don't need to be the top business mind in the industry. So I wasn't like like a dean or something. I was just someone who liked teaching. And it's okay. It's okay because you just have to be interested enough to research about the topics, about the industry, be open to talk about it, and just learn and learn and learn. And it's fine if you don't know everything. You have all the time in the world to learn. I mean, there's no pressing issue now that would stop your time. So education has a lot of problems. And I felt, okay, which problem should I solve? When you're young and you want to start, you just want to solve everything. But it was kind of fuzzy, so I thought I needed to pinpoint it. So I went to speak to teachers, to clients, to the users, the customers. So I went to teachers at AUB and actually the dean of MSFEA, and they told me, do you have a problem? And they told me, yes. We have a big problem of students paying for projects. So this is how it started. You had a main gate, a big poster, we do your projects. And they told me this could not stand. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try to solve that. So my first brilliant idea was to track the PDFs. I would put like a tracker chip on the PDF, and now you, as a student, you would send it to someone, and I would see, oh, there's someone in Hamra who's receiving all of these PDFs. He must be the guy. You should send in the SWAT team. But of course, they had problems with data privacy, and plus, I didn't know software, and I didn't have the money. So, yeah, it wasn't really a stable idea. So I sent emails to companies. I received contracts that I can't afford, but also I got feedback from them. They told me, oh, why don't you do this and this and this? And this is a third point I want to mention, is talk to people about your products, people who are tech savvy, people who know the feasibility of it. So just get an understanding. If you don't, for example, now maybe most of you are like into AI and artificial intelligence and whatnot. Whenever you have an idea, just talk to someone and see how feasible it is. And they gave me a bit of ideas, so I did a small tweaks in the product. And it's all funny because that was happening 1 month before COVID. Like, I was working on cheating online projects 1 month before COVID. It's as if I knew it was gonna happen. So I wrote a proposal, a 2-page proposal to the associate provost at AUB. And she loved the proposal. She invited me to her office and she told me, listen, we're gonna help you test. And I was like, fine. I went out of the office. I was like, but I don't have the product. So okay, I'm back to square. I have something in mind, but like I don't have the product. So, and then COVID started, and we did like what everyone else did, just sitting at home, eating, watching Netflix. Some people used to exercise, weirdos. And I received an email from an accelerator. It was something about education. I applied to from AUB just like randomly, and I got accepted. But then COVID happened, so I thought it's gonna go away. But it turns out it was online, so that was lucky. So I went into that accelerator. I got some training. I got all the training from A to Z about startups. I keep the first level, not very in depth, but it was just enough to start. And at the end, I got a tiny amount of money. It was just enough. I took it and I called a very smart person from my school, from AUB, from my mechanical engineering year. And I told him, listen, I have just this money. Would you come and build the product for me? And he was like, yeah, sure. And so he came in, and let me show you first the demo. It was called Proctix. It wasn't Sila. Just a very cheesy. By the way, are you hearing something?
No.
No, we can't hear.
Oh, so you're just seeing the video, but not seeing what's happening, like the audio.
What you need to do is share your tab.
Your what?
Your tab. So not share your whole screen. Select the tab and then share it.
Okay, 1 second. A tab. Oh, best suited for animation. Yeah, I didn't read that. Okay. Tell me if you're seeing it now.
You might have heard this one before. You're a teacher giving a project to your class. And while
Yes.
checking on the students' work, you encounter some odd submissions. This happens all too many times, in the different shapes and forms of projects across faculties. This type of cheating actually has a name now: contract cheating. It is the process of paying for third-party groups to complete your university projects for a fee. People have found this business quite profitable. However, it puts the university's reputation at risk, and this problem is affecting universities worldwide. Teachers just don't have the capabilities to fight contract cheating because of its subtlety, and it's devaluing the work of students who are putting in the effort. Also, students who are cheating are foregoing important skills by taking shortcuts. So, can we find a versatile solution to contract cheating? Yes! With Proctix, a smart PDF solution that differs from your regular PDF. It just streams the project instructions on your class webpage and deters cheating possibility by not allowing printing, downloading, or sharing of the file. It also gathers user analytics, models their behavior, compares it to the class and to his behavior, and flags any suspicious actions. By using this pattern recognition algorithm, we are assisting the teacher, as well as promoting academic integrity for the students. So, let's put an end to this bad habit and start helping each other.
I'm sorry.
You might have heard this one before.
It was just too cheesy. Anyway, so during May 2020, we worked to get approval for testing at AUB, which was a lot of paperwork, a big hassle. And then we built the product in 1 month, and I sent hundreds of emails to so many teachers. I only got one response. It was enough. It was, I don't know if you know her at OSB. Her name is Layla Khawli. She teaches marketing 2-7. And she had the perfect early adopter persona. She's lenient to mistakes. She's open to new ideas. She's just excited and interested. And you need someone with that energy. And so, but she wanted exams, and we did projects back then. So I looked at my friend who's like, even though we do projects and she wants to exam, we have to do what she wants because she's the customer, she knows best. So we changed a few things in the platform. هون صار اسمها Sila. And we did the first midterm exam of marketing to 7 on Sila. It was a platform where you could see it's like Moodle. You could see the quiz and you could answer وبس. We didn't have video monitoring, by the way, because we were kind of monitoring how you type and how you use your mouse, so we can see if that's you behind the PC or not. And we did some improvements from the midterm, and then we did the final exam. وخلصنا. But the problem is we weren't really detecting cheating. I mean, it was an idea that, okay, we're going to use this AI to do this. But we didn't know about the feasibility. It was just an idea. So basically, Miss Layla let us do an exam, midterm and final exam of OSB without any way to stop cheating. I think she thought we were stopping cheating, but we weren't. So I think the students loved us. Anyway, we finished. And we didn't know what to do. I mean, we couldn't, ما استفدنا من الداتا، ما قدرنا نعمل شيء reasonable. So قلنا إنه okay, we're going to do a publication about what we did during the summer. It's the reasonable approach. We thought just write something, make it look flashy. That's it. Because we were in our selling point, which is stopping cheating, is not being delivered. ما كنا عم نشتغل عليه. We couldn't حتى. We don't have the technology. So we wrote a mediocre publication, just an article, if you could say it. And then the August 4 explosion happened. And of course, chaos, etc. And we lost all of our contacts at AUB. They didn't die. They just were too busy with other things. So we were left with no one really as an early adopter. And the publication, aslan, it was mediocre. So we were kind of lost. And we started looking for other early adopters. Sent hundreds of emails, no responses, slow responses. Maybe someone would respond, and then we could demo, and it had a bug or something. They weren't as lenient anymore. Maybe she was too lenient. Maybe, I don't know. So how can we build the product if we don't have users? It's very hard. We knew that. We knew from the training. But we thought, okay, they must be bad users. Lebanon the teachers in Lebanon must just be bad users and they don't know what they want. It's them, not us. And so I went the other way and I hired 2 more developers, so صاروا 3, and we went on building an even bigger product. We were building a big platform where you can do exams, and not just, like a text box where you can write the answer. No. You could draw math, you could write math equations, you could draw diagrams, electric circuits. We were putting everything in it, just cramming. We had like weekly sprints where we would develop more features and more for so many months, at least 5 or 6. And then we went into more business development programs, one even in Barcelona. And we wrote a business plan. We started a social media campaign, just worked on all the peripheral things. But at the core, we just had bad infrastructure. We had a bad product, a bad concept. We even got an AI guy, artificial intelligence guy, just working on the algorithm. And he told us it wasn't doable. And we realized that. So it was just all unstable grounds. And then by April 2021, we didn't have users. We didn't have funding yet. And we had no direction. We just lost. And the team morale was really low. We got a few users during the year. But like they only use it once. They would only use it once and never again. And I was like, why? We didn't understand. And then we had a turning point. It's actually Dr. Mona is related to this turning point, but she doesn't know. But if she hears it, she's gonna be interested. Sorry. There was a competition at AUB at MSFEA. It was in late April, and there were 11 startups. We were one of them. 5 of them would win money. Okay, 5 out of 11 must be probable. And I mean, they just had ideas, and we had like a product, we had users, a business plan, whatever, and we thought it was a given. So, what do you think happened? Can anyone from the audience try to guess?
You lost?
Yeah, we lost. So we came up 7th, like not even close to 6th. So we thought, okay, we must have a very bad product. And that was like, خلاص, the wake-up call. It was the worst feeling of my life because I spent a year working on it. بيصير عندكم identity crisis because that's who you are and what you believe in. And especially if the first idea, it's like your first love, first idea, same thing. And it was our first major pivot. So I spent the next month trying to find problems to solve, researching, all of May, researching, reading, interviewing teachers in Spain and Lebanon and France, just talking to them, trying to understand, what's your problem? I don't have a problem. And finally, I got a pivot in mind. After talking to teachers in France and in Spain, I realized that the students are coming back to class after COVID. They have their masks on. They're pretty shy, about introverted because of COVID, and they're not participating as much. And I thought, okay, so we probably need an in-class participation app, something for the shy students. So you just grab your phone and you can send a message, and it whips out a message and it appears on the PowerPoint of the teacher. And we got faster than the previous product. We built the prototype in 2 weeks, directly contacted some teachers. It will be half of June. We've already been testing it in Lebanon, and I had a friend in Germany who's also a teacher, and I got some positive feedback outside of Lebanon, and in Lebanon it was negative. But everything was online, so I couldn't really find someone who has a physical class and testing it in a physical environment. Everything was still online. So I was kind of competing with, Slido, Kahoot, all of these online stuff, which also work in class. But I mean, our feature was specific. We had a specific feature for physical. But it wasn't enough. And in July, I lost all my developers, like all my teammates left me. I understand they needed money and we're just not making progress. We made more progress than the previous product, but still not enough. The product was buggy when they left. It wasn't reusable, like just chaotic. So, and that was, let's say, beginning August, end of July. And I knew that the students are coming back to class in Lebanon, at least in AUB, September, October. And I thought that's my point. That's where I can test. I was not going to give up on the product because I have not tested it in the environment that I designed it for. So what to do? I became a developer. I learned web development. I'm a mechanical engineer. I don't know web development, but I learned it. And I built the product over a month or something on Google Slides. So it's the same concept that before you can send message and it shows on the slide. And I needed to test. So luckily, in my CrossFit class, I had a teacher. She's a professor at the chemical engineering department. And I told her, listen, I want to test. And when I gave her the business card, she told me, I already used it, Sila, 6 months ago. And I remembered she was one of those previous teachers who used it for the assessment and then used it once and never again. It was kind of funny. And she told me, listen, I'm open for you to test your new product in my class. It was the perfect class. It was a recitation or something before the exam. There were 40 students in the room. It was an hour and 15 minutes. So it's the perfect place for people to ask questions. So 40 students, an hour and 15 minutes, just a session for asking questions. Can anyone guess how many questions were asked using Sila? Someone from the
10.
audience? 10? Okay, remove the 1. It was 0. No one used it. No one used it. 40 students just sitting ببكتوا المدحوشين يعني شو بدها واحد يحمل السيلال. It was obvious. I was sitting in the front. It was a clear humiliation to me. But it was also a clear indication to stop. So I failed faster than before. So 5 months instead of a year on the previous product. 5 months كمان مع not read COVID with no developers. So maybe less, let's say. So it's getting better and better. Just iterating and understanding what works and what doesn't work. So I understood that, listen, I'm not going to change the students in class, like how they behave in class. I'm not going to change that. What is still changeable is the online scene. يلي هربت منه برجع رجعت له. قلت okay, online. So not exams. What else? You have to think at the different value propositions in education. وكنت أنا مطلمس على ال university stuff. So I thought, and that was, by the way, before Metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg has to give me credit. It was before he announced metaverse بشي كام نهار. I thought the idea of changing online classes into this 3D immersive, experience where you have your avatar and you move, etc., and you present on the virtual screen. But I also had, that wasn't a Friday night. And the next Thursday, 6 days after, I had a competition at iPark. There was a prize money, etc. And I was a top 11 finalist with my previous idea. I don't know how, honestly. I really don't know how I got there with that shitty idea. Which, by the way, Dr. Mina told me that it wasn't strong enough. And I was so defensive when she told me that, like a month ago. I was like, no, you don't know. And she was right. That's the hard part about being a product. Someone who builds the product, you're gonna get attached and you gotta get defensive, and you're not gonna see things except when they hit you really hard. Humiliation works best. And so I couldn't just present my older idea. I know I don't believe in it anymore. I can't present something that I don't believe in. So I spent the next 2 days, 48 hours, just working on Unity, which is a software for making games and simulations. Just working, putting some elements, just to get a demo, putting some people, allowing voice chat, presentation on the screen. You see the Sila in the background, that was presentation, and just, funny things, just to make, the feeling of what the experience would be like. I did a 5-minute demo of this. And for the competition, you needed a 5-minute pre-recorded pitch and a 1-minute on-the-spot pitch, live pitch. I applied for this, which we already presented, by the way. The deadline was over. I thought, okay, I changed it. Can I submit this new one? They told me, no, you can't. I won't attach it here. You won't see it because it's a 5-minute video. I can show it to you later if you want. So they told me you only have this 1-minute pitch to make it or break it, ma'al judges, with an idea that no one knows about, no one has heard before, and other ideas were just, they already had like they had an idea of it. They had 5 minutes of information. Ana zero. So it was like kind of a handicap من الآخر. Can anyone guess which place did I get? Out of 11.
First.
No, مش هالقد. Come on.
11th.
You have to be
Third.
I got
Third.
fourth. The third was a teacher at AB that was not allowed to win because he's too advanced. So يا اما كان في يكون fourth يا اما second, and second is winning money. So, and that's out of 114 applicants على iPark. So fourth out of 114 with a 1-minute-old idea. 6-day-old idea. So that got me thinking. Okay, so what if I pursue the product? What would happen? I mean, it looks interesting to people. But of course, I needed to pivot. هلا صرت أفهم إنه it's not that easy to go into a class, تجيب أستاذ, تجيب تلاميذ وتركبها ويلا. خصوصا إنه you need an online teacher to change his behavior, يفوت على this game world, which is already a problem. And then the students' behavior, okay, نص مصيبة, بس برجع تجمعهم بذات الوقت. I need to think, okay, I need to test. I mean, the idea, I want that. I want, this experience. I want it. But you need to take steps, something that's similar to the product in the same family, but that's easier to test and to prove and to market, etc. I thought, okay, أولاً بدها تكون تلميذ لحاله, بدها تكون asynchronous يعني, وteacher ما خصه بالدق. لأنه teacher is not going to change. So I thought, I'm going to just replace video lectures in a game-like environment, like game experience. You go in as a student, you have lesson 1, it's a game. Yalla, food, you can do whatever you want. But I was putting like the video content of the teacher inside the game world. And I thought, but that's kind of just bringing boring to fun. If I'm already doing a game, why don't I just reinvent everything? And I couldn't do that with universities. I know, complex ideas, just not the time for it. I thought, okay, so I needed schools, because you can take a school lesson, very easy to change into a video game. It's much simpler to grasp for you as a designer. And so I contacted my old school and I told them about my idea. It was in November 2021. And they gave me a lesson. It was a math lesson for grade 6 students, orders of operation. I don't know if you know the lesson. It's like you do the minus, you do parenthesis and then the plus. Okay, I'm bad at it. But you understand. Yeah, PEMDAS, 100%. So I spent 2 weeks just working on the game, just the non-stop development, 2 weeks, making the game, fast prototyping. And then I finished it in beginning December. وبرجع اختفوا المدرسة إنه Christmas and everything. The school was very slow to respond. So I went into this coma again of just being alone and not having anyone, you know, the customer next to you. It really sucks not having the customer next to you. And then some people gave me feedback on the game, which I'm going to show you next, and they told me it looks very bad. It sucks. And they're not the users. They're not qualified. They're neither teachers or students or know anything about schools. So they weren't qualified, but they gave me feedback. And I keep from my previous failures, I thought, oh, it must suck. So it's in French. I'm going to show you the trailer of the game, but there's subtitles in English.
Où suis-je? Qui es-tu?
Tu es dans mon ordinateur.
Est-ce que vous avez besoin de moi?
Je vois ici que tu es le dernier antivirus téléchargé et que l'utilisateur a détecté quelques erreurs en regardant des sites de burgers.
Qu'est-ce qu'un burger?
Peu importe. Il y a 4 programmes à réparer. Chacun a un code sous forme d'équations de maths.
Comment je fais ça?
Tu devras résoudre ces équations. Mais attention, tu devras faire le calcul dans le bon ordre, sinon tu vas aggraver les choses. Bon travail! Les opérateurs dans les équations ont des niveaux de priorité. Tu devras toujours trouver l'opérateur de plus haute priorité. Attention de ne pas tomber trop souvent, sinon tu abîmeras l'ordinateur.
C'était quoi ça?
Est-ce que j'ai mentionné que l'utilisateur est impatient? Vite, on n'a pas beaucoup de temps avant qu'il ne casse l'ordinateur.
So from the feedback, I thought I'm not being taken seriously. I need a bigger game, better graphics, etc. So I went, I got COVID into أول 2022, so كنت بالبيت وقلت perfect. 1 month and a half full-time game development مع بكرة العشية, just working as a developer, making a game. It was a very big game. It was a detective game with dialogue, with inventory, with better graphics, with very complex stuff. And I still didn't have, by the way, user feedback. I didn't know how would a 6th grader play a game, but I just did the same mistake. It usually happens when you wander off without a user, mistake like إيدك. But then luckily mid-February, I got a response from the school and they scheduled 10 hours of testing with 150 students. The students loved it. The teachers loved it. And it turns out it wasn't bad. On the contrary, the students were so happy that they like one student came to me like, I can actually play this at home. It's like, no, you have to pay me $10. Yes, you can. So it's really nice. Everybody like يعني بصير يحكوا بين بعضهم about the game at recess, etc. Just like the vibe of the game just lingered for 2 weeks. It was an amazing experience and it made me learn so much. And nothing can replace your users. You have to know that. Nothing. Like sitting and watching them play, 150 students, 1 hour each. شوفوا كيف عم يلعب, how he thinks, how he reacts, even the teacher what she thinks. Nothing can replace it. يعني the progress you can make and the understanding you can learn is priceless. So I just realized the game I was working on for the past month and a half was shit. It was too complicated for the students. They don't care about these things. They care about other things. Just understood what they want. So I deleted actually the game like 2 days ago, the file, the project. It wasn't for them. But I took the understanding that I learned, and now I'm working on a new game, but with a case study. So now the last game was just to make sure that what they like and stuff. But now I want to actually market it. Like to market it to a school, I understood that they want metrics. They want, how much would the grade increase of a particular student. I need the data and stuff. And that's why I contacted a professor from AB. Yesterday, actually, we had a meeting, and I think it's going well. We're going to do a research experiment on the students. We're going to give them a game, and we're going to see the progress of the students of a particular lesson that they have not learned yet through the game. So it's something interesting. We're going to work on it. It would give us credibility and would make a nice research paper for AUB. So for now, I have 3 teammates. They advise me and support me. They're not really full-time. I'm the only one full-time, but they're doing a good job at that. And yeah, so who knows what to expect next. So that's the end of the story. It's not really an end. That's why it's like doesn't have a nice ending, just a random ending. Hope you benefited, and I'm ready for questions. And please feel free to connect.
Yes, Amir, go ahead.
I'm gonna stop sharing just so I can see your faces.
Okay,
then-
I want to say something. This is the first time, like every time we have these entrepreneurship classes where they say take risk and you always have to lose to win everything. But this was the first time I felt like I'm ready to go out of this conference and take all these things and do whatever I want with my idea and try to fail and then just wake up again after it. So I'm just really want to thank you for what you did right now. And it was really great to see that bunch of humor incorporated within your presentation, because it gave us such a pullover for us, at least. I have a bunch of questions. I'm going to start with one and then let the opportunity for other people. But my first question would be, so if you go back to your university experience and the academic one, what would you change? Because in my vision, utopian vision of how university is, it's like you learn your academic stuff and then in parallel, you learn how to put your project into place, and that is how you're supposed to like graduate school and know all of these things already. So what would you change from your academic experience at university?
I mean, you could obviously realize that I didn't benefit anything from the mechanical engineering experience. I mean, the knowledge, at least, I don't use it. Like, كله راح ضيعان. For me, I would have changed a lot of things. I would have been more extroverted أول ما فتت على الجامعة. I would have participated more in clubs, met more people, because at the end, to be an entrepreneur, you need to know people. You need to know a lot of people, just how to talk to people. That's people skills. People skills are maybe the most important skill that you need as an entrepreneur. So I think I would have benefited more إذا بلشت فيهم على بكير. أكيد الانجينيرينج الفورماسيون اللي بتاخديها from university is good. So if you're someone from FAS or MSFEA, whatever, كل واحد عنده its own way of thinking, a school of thought, and it's really nice. It defines you how you think. Maybe a bit too technical sometimes, but overall it's important to have that. You need to have a background. وبرجع فوق تبني حالك. I don't really care that I didn't learn software at uni, but بحس إنه I wish I did, but it doesn't matter. And teacher-wise, I connected to them, so that's good as well. And I was more connected to the teachers than the students. I don't really know. I don't really regret anything. I just go and don't look back.
That is amazing to hear. Thank you.
Likewise.
Mike, who did you show your product? And the second one, the one that had a success story. Yeah, those that told you that it wouldn't work and it's scrappy and so on. Who were they?
So أنا بprogram هلا بالإزار École Supérieure des Affaires. There's a very important incubator اسمه Smart ISA. It's by the French Embassy, and there's coaches and people, other startups. So when I showed it in class, there was this design teacher. It was like the expert in design and visuals and stuff. قال لي this is a visual disaster. وتحضرت trailer. And there were some people in class that told me, yeah, this is too shitty for a school to look at or something. And turns out the school didn't care. So both of them were unequipped to give me that advice. Like graphic-wise, بالعكس, the students loved it. Some even loved it more than Minecraft, which I just don't understand how. بس إنه
Exactly, it gave me Minecraft vibes.
That's why. It goes both ways. Some people might give you bad advice and they don't know, and some people might give you good advice and they don't know. Both are equally harmful.
Yeah, because this is the beauty of video games today. You don't know what to expect. For example, a game like Minecraft, you would expect that it would fall over time, but it didn't. It's still rising. Like even though the graphics aren't that great. So you cannot, with video games, you can never expect what could happen. It depends on the content of the game. Emma?
Exactly.
I want to say something. I know that the name of the school that you did your prototype on, the one that you took off. And the reason why I know what it is, it's because it's my school. And I just remember that one day they were like, my siblings came up, they were like in younger than me.
You're
And they were
from
like, okay,
you're from Sankar al Najm?
Sankar al Najm, exactly.
Ah, me too.
And so, oh, so you were from Sankar al Najm.
Yeah.
That is amazing to hear. So I had like my siblings coming up and saying that other like people are trying this new game, and they saw that it was really fun. They were like super. It's not like jealous, but they really kind of liked the whole entire thing that happened.
Oh, you heard about it?
Yes, I heard about it, and I saw the pictures. I think that Aya put on her Instagram the pictures, and I was like, okay, so these are the things that my siblings are working on, like super happy about. And I think that I just said that we need this within our own educational system. I would really love this, to be honest. And I had another question for you, because I have another one coming up. How do you come back to your old customers that have seen you in your first steps and just go and have an encounter? Usually, like, I feel like sometimes it's a bit come up to them and say, okay, that is a new thing. Can you try it again with me? How do you come up to them again?
It's a tricky question. لأنه مثل ما بنقول بالعربي بتحرق your leads. So sometimes you do. Sometimes people stop taking you seriously. يعني يمكن on the first product, okay, تاني مرة. But at some point, they're not gonna take you seriously anymore. So you cannot reuse them anymore as a prospect, and that you have to accept. So that's why you have to manage who you know and who you talk to at which point. Like, you don't go and talk to everyone at the same time if there's a big risk that the idea is worthless, because you're gonna just burn all of these contacts, at least reduce their interest for future products. So it's just really good management from your side, and a good influx of new people, because there's always new people. So it's fine, you could do whatever you want, it works. بس انه اذا بتحرقيهم you need to be very extroverted to find new people. هذا اللي بدي اقوله.
Oh, so like you're burning them, literally use the word.
Yeah. عم تحرقيه للورق مثل ما بقولوا يعني.
That is interesting. Thank you.
All right, guys, any other questions? I mean, this is a golden opportunity for you. You have this amazing experienced entrepreneur right here, and he's willing to share his experience. So please ask questions. Go ahead.
Mike, there's this game. I forgot its name, but I think it's Teleport or something like that. It's
Portal
where
2.
there's this vortex.
Portal
Portal,
2.
exactly. Did you use it for inspiration for the second game?
I was doing it for this, for the second game, the Portal. Actually, Portal أكتر بيشبه كمان تبع ريك and Morty. أنا إذا بتلاحظ بس أنه I
yes.
instead of
I
blue, I
can see
made
the poster behind you.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah, me too.
So, do you ever feel like you based it on inspiration, or what is the limit that you take and I'm copying this idea?
You mean the Portal thing or something more?
No. Do you ever feel as an entrepreneur that is creating a game انه في عندك هذا الفير تاع انه I don't want to be copying someone, I'm making my own original thing? Because we had a discussion before in eClub about not having ما ضروري يكون reinventing the wheel, but sometimes when you just make something and you change just a little tweak بقلبه, it makes it original. So personally, did you feel like
I'm someone who loves to be original and hates to feel like he's copying something. That's why بالideas دايما عم جرب اعمل شيء شوية different, which is kind of a handicap sometimes. But in video games, at least, since it's an art, really ما في similarity. قليل يكون في similarity, and these small differences اللي بتحكي عنهم, they create a different experience. For example, there's a lot. Video games have been in education since they got on the moon. So 1960 ما بعرف قد ايه. Video games in education صار له وقتها. But this is 2022. Do we see games at schools? No. And why is that? So even though there are games who are similar, I believe in a whole differences اللي نحن بدنا نشتغل عنهم هن اللي بخلوهم يصيروا موجودين بالسكول, which is the ultimate goal, يعني, the ultimate milestone. So it really differs. Like small things would differ a lot.
I believe Emma said you have another question.
one more and I'm done. Okay, so I just want to ask. I think that we're working also on this with our school, which is, do you think and do you advise us to try to think about a way where schools kind of open themselves to being early adopters, very lenient with different startups from different students or university students? So we don't see it too much that startups are being prototyped in our schools. So do you advise us to open that space for startups to have their own free thing happening in schools?
So the education industry is very tricky, unis and schools. The thing is, they're not really lenient to testing because, I mean, في سمعة بدأ في a lot of things, في risk, في data privacy. It's very complex. So testing لحالة in a educational institution is way harder than any other institution. If you have an agricultural idea, you can go to any مزرعة or whatever, you can test it easily. If you have a health, okay, health ما بعرف صراحة. Maybe that's difficult as well. But you need to understand that بدك أولاً the person that you're going to contact, you need to know who it is. If it needs to be the highest principal ولا لا, because كتير بتأثر. ثانياً, what's in it for them? No one's gonna let you test if there's nothing in it for them. We're selfish people, and the schools are selfish, and the unis are selfish. If they can't benefit from you in any way, and you can't prove that, they're not gonna let you test. If you have an idea that's, I want to do this and that, it's like, Habibi, how does that help us? And they're not gonna let you. So,
But like, even though you give them the product at the end.
ما هن بعد ما انت you don't know حتى انه the product is helpful for them. فهمت علي؟ هلا اذا من الاول the product is very interesting and it solves a problem for them, might solve, بدغري بتحسه بقول لك اوكي. بس if the product does not solve directly, طب you benefiting from the data and the testing, how does it come back to them?
Yeah, that is a great perspective.
Sometimes you want to change their behavior. They're already doing something that works in the way that they're doing the exams, how they're doing it, participation in class. طب شو الله جبرهم يجيبوا بعد شيء زياده ويعقدوا الامور. فهمت علي؟ If it's already working, so in that case, have to have a kick.
Yeah, there must be catch.
And what was the motivation? Sorry.
So
yes, Emma, you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying just there must be a catch for it to work.
أكيد. Everywhere دايما في catch. Sometimes it's the vision of being innovative. شوفة الحال إذا بدك, of the school, of just trying these new things and being the first. That plays a role, a big role. شو كان سؤالك عدنان؟
كنا عم نحكي نحن عن the thing that made them accept to test your product at school. what was the problem أو the problem statement تاعيتك أنت اللي خلتهم إنه okay, we can.
I think it was solving a problem on the front page because the students weren't motivated. So when you call them, I'm gonna make a game for you for free, it's free content, etc. You're giving them something. You're giving them the chance of making the students motivated again. هيدي شغلة. وplus I had some credibility لأنه كنت مشارك بهالcompetition بالفرنش embassy يلي it's linked للمدرسة, so it's gonna give them kind of إذا أنا عملت presentation عنهم قدام باقي المدارس بلبنان حيقول نحن اشتغلنا مع هالمدرسة. في الإيجو بدأ in some way. Plus, I know the school. It was my school, so a lot of factors. You have to just add them up and reach above the threshold. You don't.
Got you. So, guys, any more questions for Mike?
Yes, Cecile, go ahead.
When you said that you talk to teachers and schools outside of Lebanon, was it really difficult for you to reach that, to go outside and go international?
I use all of my contacts. وقت بدك الشغلة, you just talk to everyone. مثلا هلا most of your Lebanese friends are outside of Lebanon. You text every single one of them. You tell them, I want to talk to your teachers. I want to تجلقيه عليهم basically. And you get a few teachers here and there, and then the art of interviewing someone is then when you finish the interview, you ask them for referrals. So it's like a snowball effect. And if you got one teacher in Spain, one teacher in France, برجع هو at the end بعرفك على 2 others وهن بعرفوك على 2 others وهن بعرفوك على 2 others. You just need to get your foot out there and eventually you're interviewing multiple people. And you don't need a lot صراحة. You know, when the person is like a teacher, is like someone who is not a young student, you know, someone who can give very static feedback, very powerful feedback, you need like between 10 to 20 وبزيادة خلاص. You get the idea at least. صار عندك the feeling of what's happening.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions, guys?
One last question on that learning curve when you started to learn on your own, that new thing. I know that the motivation, the self-motivation that came from yourself and you wanted to make that product helped a lot. What kind of advice or from your personal experience pushed you أكتر or gave you more motivation to do or learn this new skill on your own?
Okay, so motivation and learning. You cannot learn something if you don't have a goal. يعني أنا coding ياما over the past few years دايما I try coding and then I give up. I just don't see a point to it. I don't see like an objective or something. You could put like courses on Udacity تحطهم إنه هول حأعملهم على كورسيرا. It's not a goal. You need something very concrete. وأنا بmy startup I had a very concrete goal. I'm gonna make a product. I'm gonna test it with a teacher. Very link يعني ما تبعد the link of the goal of what would help you in life. So I thought, okay, for that I need to make the product. To make the product, it has to have these features. To make these features, نتعلم how. When you learn to make something instead of learn just random knowledge, it helps a lot. And coding بلا عن نفس. أنا personally my experience coding بلا عن نفس. But when you have it's just something minute to do. just بتمشي حالك بس تعمل a small feature. It's much easier. You have the motivation. And it's like having bullet points and you're crossing them out. It's much more direct. And honestly بين السما والأرض I wouldn't have never learned what I learned. وحتى هلا I couldn't learn. هلا if you want me to learn new features, just new skills just to learn them, I can't. If there's a goal, a product, some deadline, something, I would do them. I think maybe هيك اليونيفرسيتي عودتنا. I don't know.
Okay.
Question in the chat box.
نعم.
We have a question in the chat box.
What's the most thing you regret about in your journey? Again, I don't regret, but if I can change, إذا ما نظبطها, I think I should have been less defensive and more open to the other people what they thought. بس إذا بنحكي technically, I just should have centered everything around the user. ما كان لازم يكون انه انا عم قرر شو بده اليوزر وهو لا. هاي يمكن اكبر غلطه وهيك كلفتني يعني all those iterations. كل مره بغلط again كلهم هالشغله. بس sometimes it's not in your hand. يعني بتفهم مشكله قالتها اما من شوي انه sometimes the users just don't let you test, and I fully understand. Sometimes you want to test but you just can't find the people. So it's a tricky thing. The solution is you need to find the people. يعني ما فيك بس تقول خلص they can. Maybe the product بالindustry منا ظابطة for you to هيدا. Do you teach at AUB? I never taught at AUB. I was a private teacher. Just I taught at my school شوي بس لا, never at AUB as a assistant teacher or whatever. هذا كانت عيوز سؤال يمنى. يا تفضلي سابين.
No, I'm asking them. Any more questions?
لا إذا حدا عم يكتب شيء هلا.
Okay.
أصلاً 8 minutes to the thing ends ما هيك.
Okay. Thank
Seriously,
you.
Mike. Yes, Anjad, thank you so much. It was an amazing opportunity. I love your story. Like بالعادة دايما we hear your stories of successful entrepreneurs, but I love your story. Like I'm pretty sure you become great like after like a couple of months.
Thank you.
We'll hear all about it. I'm pretty sure about it. Like you did not give up. You did lots of great things, and you shared this wonderful experience with all of us. Like these are the stories we love to hear. Like when people like fail at some point, but they stand up again. Like this is what the youth have to hear today.
Because I think that if you give them a story that's too far-fetched, they're not going to relate. And that was the problem. دايما كان يجي حدا entrepreneur كمان يخبرنا عن his story حس انه okay, millions of dollars, how do I fit in that life يعني.
Exactly. Yeah, there's always this $1 million part. Like, how
yeah,
do
it's
I
like
how do I
هون
get
هون
it?
you lost the audience خلص bye bye.
Yeah.
And thank you for highlighting the importance of not falling in love with our products. I think this is a big mistake.
Yeah, we all do. You're all gonna do it. It's like Didi, don't press the button. You're gonna do it anyway. But you're gonna learn. It's fine. ما حتموتوا منه. Maybe do. I don't know.
Okay, so again, thank you, Mike, for this amazing, funny, insightful, and unique presentation. And best
I'm glad
of
you liked it.
upcoming projects. Thank
Nice
you.
to meet everyone. Yalla, have a nice day. If you want, don't forget to connect with me.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
so
guys,
now
stay done
the-
yet.
to the mental activity.
لأنه I can see people that started to leave, so please stay. We're not done yet.
Okay.
Sabine, the floor is yours.
Yalla, I will share my screen and the Menti code. So I will wait a few minutes for everyone to join Menti. Okay. Okay, I will start in 1 minute.
Guys, make sure to go to www.menti.com and use the code. We have the link in the chat and we'll be starting shortly.
Okay, I will start. Okay, describe your mood this morning. Tired, anxious, stressed, satisfied, motivated, happy, hopeful. I love this. Optimistic, interested, normal, aware, excited, sleepy, productive. Nice. Okay. Energetic. Okay. I will move to the next question. Did you watch the market research video? Yes or no? Okay, we have one no. That's fine. Now to the quiz. So the first question, you should do market research for your entrepreneurial idea before design thinking, after design thinking, or in parallel to design thinking. So it's in parallel to design thinking, because in market research, we can do interviews in empathy phase of the design thinking process. We can do surveys to understand the user better, and we can find competitors in the ideation phase. So it's all related to market research. Next question. Which of those is the most insightful tool in primary research? Interviews, surveys, observations, or focus groups? So it's interviews, because we can ask open-ended questions and gain deeper knowledge about our target audience. Next question. Which of those is the easiest tool to administer in primary research? Google search, focus groups, observations, or surveys? So it's surveys, because it's easy to set up and easy to reach our target audience. Next. Which one of those is powerful in developing empathy with your target audience? Surveys, observations, or competitive analysis? It's observations, because in observations, we're not only observing, we're understanding more the customer journey, what they pass through, their pain points. So we use empathy here. Next question. Which of those is not a type of secondary research? Internet search, public library research, phone calls, or governmental reports? Phone calls, because it's similar to doing an interview, so it's more in the primary research. Next. In conducting competitive analysis, you should focus on your direct competitors, your indirect competitors, any competitor attempting to solve the same problem. Any competitor attempting to save the same problem. Solve. Last question. Market research and design thinking are the same with different names, complement each other, are completely different, or contradict each other? Complement each other. Because as we said in the first question, that market research, we should do market research in parallel to design thinking. So that's it. Now to the results. Congrats to Michelle. Congrats.
Thank you.
As always, guys, the scores are very close to each other, so great job. مع انه كمان في لا هون this time there is a small difference between them, but they're close. So good job, everyone.
Now we want to hear from you. How was today's session? Insightful, inspiring, I learned something new, I am motivated to work on my startup, exceeding expectations, disappointing, boring. Great. Disappointing. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you everyone for joining us today. But before you leave, Wasim?
Yes, so we sent you a couple of days ago a message on the group about the competition that we organized. It's called it's about a new series that we have on the platform. It's called the Keys to Success of Arab Social Entrepreneurs. So if you go to our to shabablab.com, you'll find the series section. So in this competition, you basically have to we send the rules on the group basically, first of all. Second of all, you have to create content based on the series. Like you watch one video or two video of the series. For example, you can create a small post about the lessons learned from this series, what the entrepreneurs actually taught you. I'm gonna put the link here, so if you want to go ahead and .com/series. It's called the Keys to Success of Arab Social Entrepreneurs. You can watch it either in English or in Arabic. So after you create the content, you mention us on social media at Shabab Lab, for example, on Instagram. And once after that, you'll be in the competition inside of it. We're gonna repost the content that you created. It can be a normal post, a story, a reel, something easy, or you can go ahead and create a blog post, for example. The top three winners will get $50 as an award, and we'll have 1 year free of access to all our courses and programs on Shabab Lab. And by the way, there are lots of courses upcoming. So yeah, I'll take this opportunity if I were you, to be honest. So if you want, I will send the rules again on the group, on the Entrepreneurship Club program group on WhatsApp, so that you can participate. All right. Again, thank you so much for coming today, and we're always glad to hear from you. And yeah, see you next time, of course.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.